Hi, welcome back to Mentally Magnificent. My name is Crystal Turner, and I'm coming on today because I want to talk about herbs that can really support your mental well-being. And I love talking about the herbs because when I started doing my own work in overcoming a lot of unhealed issues that I was dealing with that contributed to the issues with my mental health, it was utilizing herbs and applying these to my life where it allowed me to slow down enough to study myself. And I think that's such a big part of this journey into improvement to well-being is for us to have enough care to want to study ourselves and understand what it is that we're experiencing, how our body responds to different things, so many different things. But one of them is utilizing herbs or utilizing plant, so as I used to call, or you may hear it called plant medicine, to support your health, to be like a friend, to come along as a friend in your health. I am not saying that herbs resolve all issues, but I am saying that there are different parts. There are so many different parts of us. And this is one part that could be applied where you can study yourself and see how these things impact you. And it's been one of the most helpful ways for me to really get into this thing that I call self-healing, or understanding that we are our own healers. And so we're going to go through the box. Now, I have opened the box already, but I'm going to unpack them with you, and we'll talk about each plant that's in here, each herb that's in here, and why I'm excited to use them, why I ordered these in the first place. So the first one is, it's called hibiscus. And by the way, the company that I'm using, I'm not advertising the company, but this is a company whose herbs I tend to like and enjoy. If you see the name on there, you can get your herbs from other places, obviously, but this is hibiscus flower. So hibiscus, many of us have had hibiscus before or tried hibiscus. The reason that I'm using hibiscus and why I'm going to be using it and studying myself more with hibiscus is that I appreciate its ability to help with or to support issues with inflammation. There is some research that talks about its benefits with helping to reduce inflammation. But why is this important when it comes to mental health? The reason I would think that it's important is because when we talk about inflammation, let's just say you have inflammation, in your legs or in your joints. So that's a type of inflammation. But oftentimes, if we have inflammation there, we probably have inflammation in other parts of our body. And if we have inflammation in other parts of our body, our brain is a place that we probably have inflammation too. Like, we don't see the inflammation, we don't necessarily feel the inflammation that may happen in our brain, but it can come out in ways of issues with cognition. It could come out in impacts in your mood, or anxiety. And the reason that this could be is when we are talking about inflammation, when at a cellular level, every cell is trying to communicate with one another. And for example, when I prescribe medication, sometimes there are patients who will start on a medication. This is not in all situations, but they'll start on a medication, they're doing well, and then suddenly it stops working. And this kind of thing keeps happening. Well, this could be something to consider. Is there inflammation going on? Because if there is inflammation going on in the brain, it's not about how much of the good chemicals you're trying to get. It's not about increasing them through medicine. It's about they can't communicate with each other because there's too much inflammation. So if we decrease inflammation, the way to communicate and the connection of on a cellular level, the way electrons and the different chemicals in our brain are trying to communicate, it's more seamless then. But when we have inflammation, we cause issues in all parts of our body, and that includes our brain. And so that's one of the reasons I really want to check out hibiscus. And I have had inflammation in other parts of my body. That has improved with me changing my diet. But I want to further, just focus in on an herb that really says to have benefits with inflammation. But also, looking at this deep, rich color, hibiscus flower also is a great antioxidant. And when we hear the word antioxidant, what we're talking about is this ability to help with free radicals. The way I like to think of free radicals are these things floating around that can cause damage to our cells. And if our cells are damaged, then they're not going to work properly. And we may think of little tiny cells not being a big issue if we have some damage to a few cells, but if this is happening on large to many of our cells because we have a lot of free radicals, we're going to feel that in our bigger experience because everything starts at very small levels and builds on that. So if we are healthy at small levels, on the smaller levels, that builds to us being able to feel how that is in a larger way. But it's also that same way as if we have things being ruined and destructed at smaller levels, eventually we're going to feel that in the larger experience that we're having. So that's my hibiscus flower that I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to trying that. Something that I also ordered was orange peel because I'm making tea blends, and orange peel, for one thing, it can help to give a better flavor panel to a herbal blend. So it's there also for that. But the orange peel, this is the part of the orange that we don't usually eat. We usually eat the flesh inside and we toss the peel. But the peels also have significant benefits. And so for orange peel, there is some studies that talk about its studies to see if it's enhancing mood. When I think of things that are zesty, even when I think of it in like body washes, that is kind of brings a level of vibrancy or uplifts us a bit. So I'm interested in trying out the orange peel. I'm not going to say, I don't know. I may, when I get around to it, I'll talk about how I try this. Maybe I will just steep orange peel, put a little bit of some type of honey or something in it and drink on that for the month and see what I notice from it. But that would be the benefit from orange peel. Now, my next herb that I ordered is called stevia. And I think it's stevia leaf. So I think we've all heard of stevia as a sweetener that, in some situations it's better than like cane sugar or things like that. Some stevias that are processed, once it goes through this processing, it may not be as beneficial. It may have some harmful components, but this is stevia leaf. So it's in its natural. The reason I'm really getting this is also as I'm making tea blends to be able to add a little bit of something extra to the tolerance for some people who need a little sweetness to their teas to be able to add the stevia. But also stevia, because it's a different type of sweetener, it's thought that it can help balance blood sugars. And some people have changes in their mood based off of, spikes, dips, or spikes in their blood sugar that can cause them to be impacted emotionally as well. So there, though there's no like direct research that I found that in relationship to stevia, that's where I'm thinking about stevia. It first came from wanting to be able to provide sweetness to people who really want that, but also thinking about that it's a natural sweetener as opposed to the cane sugars and things like that. All right, and so now my next that I'm really looking forward to is holy basil. It's also called Tulsi. I have not used this before. So there are a few reasons why I'm choosing to use this. So I am going into perimenopause, and one of my hormones is off balance, according to my gynae provider. And they wanted me to take this. Hormone, which I don't want to take any hormones. But when I was researching herbs that could have that benefit with this particular hormone, Tulsi came up. So I'm not sure in all of the accuracy in that, but I am going to be trying. This is what led me to want to try Tulsi. But Tulsi is an adaptogenic herb. And I really do love adaptogenic herbs because they are plants that help the body to deal with stress in a more balanced way. So it helps us to trying to think of how I would say this. Adapt. So it's an adaptogenic herb. So that's the perfect way to think of it. It helps us to adapt to stress in a more balanced way. So the way I imagine it in my mind is if there's a tolerance to stress. Like, let's just say my tolerance to stress right now is right here. And I feel like when I utilize an adaptogenic herb, it may take my tolerance up a bit. So it helps me with my tolerance and my ways of being able to deal with stress. I think on a cellular level, but then in other adaptogenic herbs I've used, I've felt it, on a larger scale. In my day-to-day, I've noticed my ability to deal with stress differently. So I am very excited to try holy basil. And it also is said in some research to be able to give cognitive support. So when we think of cognition, I think of the ability to focus, to concentrate. So I'm interested in seeing how this will be for me when I start it. And this is the herb I'm going to utilize. Today is the March 31st. This is the herb I'm going to start using for all of April. So I'm really looking forward to what I experience from this plant. And then of course, at the end of the month, I do one live video where I share my experiences with the plant that I've been working with for the month. So toasty holy basil. And then last but definitely not least is butterfly pea. Butterfly pea flowers. I have used butterfly pea flowers before when I did like a detox program with the facilitator who had made a tea that included the butterfly pea. And it's such a beautiful flower. When you steep it, it gets this beautiful electric blue-like color, or purple. And when you add citrus to it, it further changes the color. It's really, just that in itself speaks to it's different. It doesn't, I've not seen any other plant that gives off this color. So it definitely caught my eye at that point, but also thought to have benefits with cognitive support. And it's thought through some research to be helpful as an anxiolytic component, which means that it's thought to help with anxiety and stress. So butterfly pea, whole flower. So sometimes it's called blue butterfly pea. And so I'm excited to use this as we're in spring now. I'm actually excited to use all of these because they remind me a bit of spring. The vibrant colors, the flowers that I've chosen, and to just bring new fresh herbs to my experience for these next few months. So I don't know if you want to try these with me, along with me as I do it. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these herbs before, and if you did, what has been your experience. And I will look forward to sharing with you more in upcoming videos. But what I would like for you to do is to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and if there's someone who you know who's on a quest to improve their mental well-being, share this video with them, share this channel with them, because it's going to really help support me to be able to pass the message along and provide the services that I would like to provide. And speaking of that, if you would like to have a 1-hour wellness session with me so that we can go over maybe what some of your challenges are and come up with approachable plan that you can use to apply to your life, because it's all about application. So with that, I will say thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.